Okay, so hey everybody, it's Sephi again. So today's topic I'm gonna say is about Gohan and his wasted potential. Now people say, oh well, he's not wasted potential. He was never meant to be a fighter. Look back, and here's the argument they present. They say, look back at what he did, and you will see that Gohan didn't want to fight. He didn't have the killer instinct. Yeah, he was a bit whiny. And yeah, he was forced into it because Piccolo kidnapped him and forced him to prepare for the Saiyans. Then they also use the argument that they also had to prepare for it via basically, situations like in the Android saga, when they had their situation there, where they had to prepare for the androids, and he eventually got Super Saiyan 2 because the hyperbolic time chamber. But look back at Gohan really and notice something. Both in universe and outside of universe, there's I would argue, a different side to this. A more twisted and sinister side. But maybe also less sinister than you think and simplified in another way. Let me explain. You see, when you look at Gohan and you look back in the old show, you'll see that he didn't like studying. He didn't like homework. He didn't like that. He hated it. You know what he did like? He wanted to go fight with his dad. He wanted to go on an adventure. He wanted to go be with his dad. Did Chi-Chi let him? No. Sit down, do your homework. Also, notice that anytime Goku was dead for prolonged periods, let's address that too. When Goku was dead for really prolonged periods, what happened? All he had was Chi-Chi telling him, do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. Be smart, be intelligent. You need to make a decent living because Goku doesn't. Goku doesn't. She puts all this pressure on Gohan to be intelligent, to do his education. And he clearly doesn't seem to want it until the brainwashing, as you could argue, is full circle by the time of the Buu saga. Now you could say, no, he was always brainy. Again, look back. How many times did he want to go out and fight? Yes, it could have been an adventurous side and not a killer instinct. I will argue you could be right about that. But I would also argue if he had a lot more time around his father with Goku, he could have developed at least the mentality of enjoying the fight, or at least enjoying the adventuring, enjoying doing other things. He was not an egghead. He was not a brainy person. Whatever terminology is politically correct or not, point is, it wasn't who he was. And you look at it behind the scenes, and Akira Toriyama himself has proven this. You see, he wanted Gohan to be the main character. This has actually been argued at one point. He was intending on doing it, but he realized quickly that he felt at the time that he changed his mind. He felt maybe this isn't in character for Gohan. So instead, he had Goku return as the main protagonist for fighting after the Buu saga came around, which wasn't necessarily going to be around, but that's another argument because, Akira Toriyama is known for improvising a lot. You can see it in what he's writing, but that's a topic for another day. Point is when you really look at it, what happened? What happened? He slacked off. And what went wrong? Everything. Everything went wrong. And with Akira Toriyama clearly changing his mind, again, he was setting Gohan up. You look at the first arc, he's set up to be a prodigy, someone who's stronger than Goku, way stronger than Goku, or at least the potential to, compared to his age, and in many times surpassed Krillin, easily in power level. He was set up to be a big deal. He kept being set up, this is a big deal, this is a big deal. It was also about responsibility. When Goku dies, who's left to protect the Earth? Vegeta? Okay, what about when Vegeta dies? Who's left to protect the Earth? Oh yeah, it'd be Gohan. Think back. If Goku and Vegeta were dead and did not come back to Earth during the Buu saga, Gohan would be the main fighter, the only hope for the Earth, arguably. But still, with that in mind, they'd be screwed. How many times do you think the Earth would be screwed if it wasn't for Goku and Vegeta or something like that happening? And yet, Gohan was obviously being set up to be the next big hero. And that's the thing. You said, well, he's got to focus on his family. True. Unless there's no family to focus on. Anyway, the point is, if there's no family to protect, what family is he going to focus on? There'll be no family to protect when the Earth gets destroyed because he's been slacking off. He is a prodigy. He easily could have already been superior compared to Goku and Vegeta if he had stuck with it. And the thing is, he doesn't even have to be a fightaholic like Goku and Vegeta. Just try to train enough to maintain what he had at minimum. He slacked off so much his level was weaker than it was in the Cell Saga. It's been addressed. He said, in fact, when he went Super Saiyan 2 in the tournament, it said, this is weaker than he was before. He wouldn't have been if he had at least trained enough to maintain it. He doesn't necessarily have to surpass it, but at least by maintaining it, he's a worthy protector. Because again, if Goku and Vegeta weren't around, Earth would have been screwed in the Buu Saga. Now, another argument that could be made is you look at it, and Akira Toriyama wrote himself into a wall with that fact too. That's why he had to pull the whole Mystic Gohan, or Ultimate Gohan, whichever terminology you prefer, into the picture. Kind of pulled out of his ass, like, uh-oh, Gohan slacked off too much. Oh well, instant power-up. And yet, what happens by Dragon Ball Super? He drops the ball again. During the Resurrection F Saga, do you remember? He couldn't maintain his Super Saiyan form. Oh yeah, because that's a good thing when you have Gohan not even being able to maintain his regular Super Saiyan form. Let alone the fact that it seems like we were taunted as if Mystic Gohan would return in the new episode, and it didn't. Instead, he went Super Saiyan, which is fair enough, but that's another problem. Where's his strength coming back from? He seemed to do fairly well considering, which doesn't make sense when you consider how much he slacked off. Yes, this is inconsistency. I just want Gohan's wasted potential to be fixed, but it has to be fixed legitimately. You can't just do like what the tournament did, and he's starting to get stronger again, seemingly from nowhere. No, he has to train, he has to earn it, and not just the light training he did. I know there was training he did where he did some training with, I forget where, but I know there was a little bit in there. But it wasn't like a year in the hyperbolic time chamber. It definitely wasn't that. And that is the kind of thing we need. We need to see Gohan training his ass off. Training his ass off to get stronger. And we need to see it because this is a very big problem, in my opinion, that yes, it is wasted potential. He does, if you want to keep him a bit egghead, okay, I think it's a bit of Chi-Chi brainwashing, but fine. He can do that while still trying to at least maintain, if not in some cases surpass, his previous strength. And no, he doesn't have to do it on the level of Goku and Vegeta. In real life, when a bodybuilder has to maintain muscle mass to compete for bodybuilding, for example, I know that's not necessarily about strength, but trust me, you build muscle doing it. They have to maintain a size. Once they reach the size they want to make, I know this because my dad was in bodybuilding. My father was. He isn't anymore, but he was. So you have to maintain it. You have to go on a certain diet, and you got to lift a certain number of weights just to keep and maintain the strength. The same concept could apply to a fighter. You don't have to train obsessively to build more muscle, but you do at least need to maintain it. And clearly Gohan didn't do that. And that's my problem. And yes, I would argue Gohan does have a lot of wasted potential, and it makes me very sad. Thank you, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you disagree, feel free to leave a comment or, whatever have you. Like, subscribe, and all that shit. Have a good day. See ya.